Yes. First of all, thanks for showing up. Love to have you guys here. Everybody's here, but nobody answered my message in the Discord. Don't make me look like a loser talking to nobody, okay? So I'm gonna call everybody out, but whatever, that's okay. I'm glad you're here. We're gonna be going over something that I feel like I reiterate a million times, which that's okay. That's part of my job is to kind of say the same thing over and over again. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let me put it all out at once, really deep dive, really explain, so that you also feel comfortable and confident as to where you're at in your journey and the methodology behind things. I'm not trying to gatekeep, and I want everybody to feel empowered. So we're going to get into why a lot of times, and this isn't everybody, and I will say that. So if this doesn't resonate, maybe this will just be a fun call to kind of learn something new on, or maybe it will be applicable to you at some point in your life. But a lot of times you start training with somebody like me or Sheena, and your goal is body fat loss. And then we start raising your calories, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Why isn't this woman telling me to do an hour of the Stairmaster and eat salads every day? What the heck? So, yeah, let's get right into it. Okay. So, why is my coach raising my calories? Good question. I know it can be frustrating, especially when you're in your first 1, 2, 3 weeks and you are super motivated to lose the body fat. We've envisioned your exact goal and you feel like you're going in the opposite direction of everything you've ever been told and taught and everything that you have ever done, which kind of take a note of that, okay? If what you're saying hasn't worked for you, you keep ending up in square one, maybe it's time to do something different. But let me kind of dive a little bit deeper before I move forward. So, is your body responsive? That is probably the main thing that Sheena and I and just the coaches at Frequency look for. We're looking for, is your body responding to anything? Or, if we pull food, is it responding to that? If we increase food, is it responding to that? Is your body responding to anything that you're doing or anything that we're doing? So, like I said, 9 out of 10 people, this isn't everybody, but most people come to us with an unresponsive body. So maybe some of these things sound familiar to you. Maybe all of these things sound familiar to you. I've tried everything and I'm not seeing any lasting results. I lose 5 pounds, I gain 5 pounds. I lose 5 pounds, I gain 5 pounds. I'm eating 1,500 calories and the scale isn't budging. Or maybe you have no idea how much you're eating and then you start logging food with us and that's where you're at. And somehow you're not losing weight eating like a mouse. I've been on and off dieting for 5, 10, 15 years, and I just keep ending up in the same damn spot, or even worse, because we do only lose bone density and only lose muscle mass as we get older. I'm taking group classes, I'm doing F45, I'm doing Orange Theory, I'm doing cardio, I'm doing the Stairmaster, I'm eating less, I'm watching what I eat, I'm pushing back my breakfast, I'm eating salads for lunch, I'm eating whole foods all the time, but my body has looked the same. Or between 18 and 25 years old, it looks fucking worse, even though all I've done is more healthy stuff than before. And I feel like even if I just look at a cookie or if I go out to dinner one time, I literally gain 5 pounds. So if any of these sound familiar, your body is in an unresponsive state. Your body is not responding to dieting, right? That's what you're doing. You're eating less, you're moving more, and you're not seeing results. You're completely unresponsive. That's usually where people are at when they come to me or when they reach out to hire a coach. Usually it's pretty rare where it's like somebody that they've never been to the gym, they've never tried anything, and this is their absolute first get around, which good for them because that's fucking awesome to start off your fitness journey at all with a professional. Good for you. A lot of times we go years of trying it on our own, and then we get to a point where nothing is fucking working. And I feel like I'm going in the opposite direction. So we're going to go through all 4 phases that we go through in Frequency. So again, maybe you are in one of these phases. Maybe you're not sure where you're at, and maybe this will explain. So we have 4 phases that we go through, and of course, everything varies person to person. We all have a little bit different circumstances. Like Marissa, for example, she has a crazy job. She is also in school, which experiencing high stress, things like that. So we make adjustments based off of your lifestyle. Like Alana has traveled a whole bunch, things like that. So everything is definitely customized person to person, but in general, we have 4 phases, and the first one is priming. So we have to prime the body at first. Okay. So once we take your initial starting point data, which when you sign up for Frequency, we first have you track and log everything that you're doing, everything that you're eating for about a week or two. We have to do this to find your maintenance calories. Okay. So we just first start logging everything that you're eating. We see what you're currently doing. We see what your body is not responding to. And then we do have to find your maintenance calories. So how many calories and what that is, what is your maintenance calories? It's how many calories you can consistently eat without gaining or losing weight. Where is your body just maintaining homeostasis, which usually takes about 2 weeks of tracking to find this number. Okay, so if we find that number and we find that that's below 2,000 calories, so again, let's say you're logging food every single day, you're averaging about 1,500 calories, 1,600 calories even, and with over the course of 2 weeks of eating that, you're not losing any body fat, that is a pretty big indicator that you have a down-regulated metabolism, a slow metabolism. Your body is not prioritizing burning fat. And you're probably also experiencing other symptoms. Maybe you notice, any kind of like hormone fluctuations, if you're familiar with that. Maybe you're feeling like high stress, irritability, you're having gut health issues, indigestion, you're barely able to go poop every single day. You're not getting good sleep, you have low libido, having hair loss, thinning nails, yada, yada. Okay. That usually is also what comes with it. But either way, if you're below about 2,000 calories, because 2,000 is where an ideal-ish maintenance calorie range should be for an adult. Okay. To give you, oh my God. To give you an idea, my maintenance calories is at 2,300 and I'm 5'6", 5'7"-ish and about 135-ish pounds. So 2,300, my body won't gain or won't lose any weight. Okay, so finding that number for you, and if it's below 2,000, that's pretty low. And that's when all the other systems in your body are going to take a hit, like digestion and hormones and all that. So here's the kicker. The only way to increase your metabolism is by eating more, period. What we want to do is we want to be able to do that. We want to eat more without those extra calories turning into body fat. So we're going to pair that with strength training. We're going to have to eat more and we're going to have to pair that with putting on lean muscle mass. And doing that lean muscle mass within itself will also increase your BMR, your metabolism rate. Either way, the first step to getting there is eating more. You're not going to be able to build lean muscle mass if you don't eat more. You can't grow something without the extra additional surplus of food. So we want to pair it with strength training and NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, basically your steps, just how much you're moving throughout the day, not, having an awesome 45, 60-minute workout and then just being a couch potato the rest of the time, staying moving, taking the stairs, parking farther in the parking lot, cleaning your house, things like that are all also burning calories, and that's adding to your NEAT. So we want to make sure that we are focusing on our steps and strength training so that when we're just increasing calories, it's not just turning into body fat. And I'll be the first to say, when I first got into coaching, honestly, like 4-ish years ago, and I kind of started to understand and grasp this concept, even for me as, as a client and somebody on their own fitness journey, I was like, well, why the hell would I hire a coach to have them tell me to eat more? I can do that on my own, believe me. So I'm just going to eat more and then I'm going to hire a coach when I'm ready to go into a dieting phase because I can do that part myself, right? Which sure, theoretically, absolutely you can. However, majority of you guys people come to me without even knowing how to properly track food, without knowing where their macros should be, without knowing how to gradually increase your food over a proper amount of time, and then how to pair that with a true proper strength training program that's progressively overloading. So just eating more and not tracking that and not knowing what ratio of those calories are coming from protein, whole food sources, all of that is when, yes, it will just be put on as body fat. That's when it gets scary. That's when it's like, she wants me to eat more because in your mind, that results in more body fat, the scale going up, you looking, having more body fat on you, not looking the best. And obviously we're not trying to do that. Okay. I promise we're not trying to set you up for failure. So it's very meticulous. So we need to do this gradually, increasing calories by only 100 calories to 150 calories per week. That is very little. That is like maybe a banana and a couple grapes, right? Just a little bit. We're trying to very gradually increase your calories each week, as well as we probably notice around this phase that you're usually not eating enough protein. Maybe we're having way too many protein bars, protein shakes, having a shit ton of processed food. So we make those swaps to prioritize whole foods. And, we start to also just adjust improve your relationship with food. Around this time is when we notice, oh, are you having a binge and restriction cycle where at night you eat everything in your pantry, and then for breakfast and lunch you try to eat like a rat to make up for that, or a mouse, I guess, not a rat. But anywho, so, and then we start to notice like, okay, I literally feel fear when I'm around birthday cake or when I'm at dinner, so this is usually when we're like, okay, we got some relationship with food stuff to work on. We also want to start incorporating proper supplementation. Maybe this is when we realize, oh, we need a lot more vitamin D in your life. You're not seeing the sun whatsoever, or we're not getting any steps, or we have a lot of stress going on. So we need to prioritize stress management. So this is really when we start to make lifestyle changes. We focus on food quality and internal health markers. Where's your sleep at? Where is your water at? Where's your caffeine intake at? Gut health, digestion. These things must come first. You will not go into a successful dieting phase if you're constantly stressed out, if you're going through a binge and restriction cycle, if you're not able to go to the bathroom, if you're constantly bloated. Like, we have bigger stuff to focus on first. Once we get those done, you'll have a responsive body. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We're looking for your body to fucking respond, please, right? Phase 2, this is my favorite one. This is when we actually start seeing real progress in the gym. Your lifts are getting stronger. You have more energy, which means you have more energy in the gym for better performance. You start to build a booty. You have rounder glutes. You have defined abs. You have strong legs. This is when it's like, oh shit, this is what I was looking for when I was going to the gym, right? I wasn't really noticing and experiencing those things, probably because you weren't eating enough. Again, your glutes aren't going to grow. All these workouts that you're doing, if you're not eating enough to fuel it, is not going to change your body. You're just going to be constantly just back and forth, gaining and losing the same 5 pounds, not making any physical changes to your body. So this is really exciting because this is when, okay, now we're, probably on our 8th week of truly strength training. We're seeing this progress, and we just have actually tapped into true consistency. Maybe this is the first time that you're like, damn, I have been really consistent for a long time. You're progressively overloading. Everything just with consistency is at an all-time high right now. You feel strong, you feel energized, you feel healthy, you feel fueled. Your body is just giving us all the green lights, okay? This is when we start to see muscles forming, like new muscles forming. Maybe you never had that line down the center of your stomach with your abs, or you never were able to actually see your biceps. And this is also when your metabolism starts to skyrocket because we're eating enough to fuel your body, and we are gaining lean muscle mass, which increases your metabolism. So now this is usually when we start to see your waist is getting smaller in your progress pictures. We're seeing less body fat on the sides, like and the rolls underneath your sports bra are starting to go away. Maybe like around your neck is getting a little bit slimmer, things like that. And we're not even in a dieting phase yet. What? Like, this is why this is my favorite phase. And this is what I always post about on our Instagram stories and transformations, is I always note we're not even fucking in a dieting phase. We have only brought up food. Katie is a huge example of that. We had only brought up food for like literally 7 months of her fitness journey. And she's like the first transformation pinned on the page. Like, it's insane. So anyway, I also want to note sometimes in this phase, PSA, the scale might go up. The law of gravity still applies to eating more food and gaining more muscle. So if you have more food in your body, like literally there's more of it, guess what? The scale is going to relay that there is more on this scale right now. That does not mean that there's more body fat. Also, if you're gaining lean muscle mass, that weighs something, unfortunately. Like, I guess that's not, 0 pounds. So you start to grow your glutes, you start to actually develop quads, you start to build abs. Those weigh things. Those are not 0 pounds. So you could be losing body fat throughout this, but we're gaining muscle, and this scale could possibly be going up or staying the same. A lot of people start to, maybe freak out, and I have to refer back to progress pictures. Okay. And also, this phase usually takes a majority of our time together because building lean muscle mass takes longer, and improving internal health like digestion and bloating and hormones and all that, these things take longer than it does to lose body fat, Which is why when people come to me and they're saying they're dieting and they're, doing all this cardio and it's been months or years, that's why it's a big concern, because it does not take a long time to lose body fat, like at all. We really should be losing about a pound per week of body fat. If we're not, something's going on. So that phase happens pretty quickly. However, building muscle takes time. So most of the time, to be honest, this is where my clients are thriving. They're experiencing their desired outcome. They have the dream body that they've been looking for. They're feeling great. What we're realizing is, wow, this whole time we were just under muscled. Probably, 90% of the clients I get, they're not obese or completely out of shape and have, like I said, lived this terrible lifestyle. And this is the first step they're taking towards their health. You're usually just under muscled, which means that you have a down-regulated metabolism. Your body is prioritizing storing fat on you. And as soon as we start to focus on that, boom, we lose fat and we have some shape to us and we can maintain it. Okay. So this adjustment will naturally come, or fat loss will come as a byproduct to this phase. And a lot of times this is where people are good and are happy. And that's that, to be honest. Sometimes we get into phase 3, which is a dieting phase. Literally, not even a lot of my clients actually go through this phase, but it is fun. This usually allows, sometimes if you're on a 6-month program, this is like the last month of your 6-month program, or if you're in a 12-month program, you'll definitely go through a successful dieting phase. So once we're looking good, we're feeling strong, we built a healthy relationship with food, and your body is responsive, this is our sign to go into a successful dieting phase. And I underlined and highlighted a whole bunch of things here. So a successful dieting phase, meaning that we're actually seeing progress, and then phase. This should be a phase. We should not be in a constant state of dieting. Your whole life is not about dieting. Your whole life is not about eating less and trying to lose body fat. If it is, something is going wrong. Okay. This should be a phase. This should be, maybe 30% of your entire life. 30% of the year is spent in a dieting phase or something like that. Like, okay, should not be a year-round constant thing. This phase will consist of gradually lowering your calories, usually from carbs and fats. I prefer to lower fats as long as they're still in a healthy range, as long as we don't have any hormonal imbalances like PCOS or thyroidism, hypothyroidism. So when we get into a dieting phase, what does that usually look like? Lowering calories about 200 to 500 calories total, over a couple months, a couple weeks. And increasing your steps, increasing cardio. We want to be very precise by measuring these data points, like your calories, your macros, your steps, your cardio, in order to actually be able to manipulate them. Our main goal during this dieting phase is to not experience muscle or strength loss. That would really be completely pointless. You don't want to be feeling depleted, low energy, fatigue, poor sleep, low libido, poor digestion. We want to be able to still be thriving in a dieting phase. In this phase, your body should be very responsive. And this should last about 8 to 16 weeks, give or take. And then phase 4, the final phase, is sustain. Now that we've achieved your leanest physique, we of course want to be able to maintain it. We want the results to be sustainable. We want to make sure that we don't start in square one again with a down-regulated metabolism, which is what happens inevitably when you're in a dieting phase. When you start to pull your food back, your metabolism just meets your body where it's at. So your metabolism will be naturally slowing down throughout a dieting phase. So we have to reverse out of that diet by slowly increasing calories, again, 100 to 150 calories-ish per week, until we work those calories up to a maintenance point and we pull cardio back just gradually. We want to do this slowly to prevent rebounding. We're not trying to gain all the body fat that we just lost right back up. We're trying to only focus on refueling yourself while still maintaining those results. This is where a lot of coaching programs screw you over. They put you through a dieting phase, sign up for 12 weeks with us. They immediately get you into a dieting phase. That's awesome if you have a responsive body and that dieting phase works for you. And then they say, okay, bye. And they move on to their next round of clients. And that's when you leave this program and you gain all of it back, maybe even more, because your metabolism naturally downregulates after a dieting phase and you have to build it back up. So making sure that you go through a proper reverse diet after that, so your calories are in a good spot, so that not every bit of food that you eat after this just immediately goes to putting on body fat and you're another client again in a year from now. So yeah, I think that's it. Woohoo! That was a lot of talking, but hopefully some of that made sense. Hopefully some of it clicked. Hopefully some of it was like, oh, okay, that's where I'm at in my fitness journey. And this is why my calories are going up and I'm either feeling or looking better, or I'm still in the state where I'm confused and not fully trusting the process. So any notes, feedbacks, comments, concerns, questions, any snaps? Yes, Miss Katie girl. Oh, thanks, y'all.
Hey, this is Sydney. My computer died, so I'm on my phone. But thank you for explaining this. I know that we've talked about this before, like one on one, but I think just like having it that PowerPoint, like referring back to it is really nice because I definitely notice myself like falling into being like, oh, the scale's going up, but like I'm also like going to the gym the night before and lifting weights. So like the scale should go up. So it's nice to be reminded sometimes.
Totally. Love that. And yeah, Sydney's been with me for a year now, and we have to be reminded. Sometimes it feels scary to unlearn everything that we've been programmed and are still like marketed to. So love that. Yay, Bree. I'm glad you loved that and needed it. Me too. Sometimes for real, it's like a good reminder.
I am having like not issues with my fitness pal, just like I've never used it before. And so people I see, like Sheena does it all the time, she'll post a screenshot of like her nutrition from the day. How do I find and see that? Because I'm tracking my meals and then on my like one-on-one calls with Sheena or when she does my like Loom video, I she explains it all to me very thoroughly and well, but can I see what she sees in my nutrition and macros and all that?
Yeah. So you're using MyFitnessPal to track your food?
Yeah.
So if you open MyFitnessPal right now and you go to your food log,
Okay. Yes.
you scroll all the way down.
On my food log. Scroll all the way down
Yep, to the very
to
bottom.
the yeah,
And do you see
where it
where it
says
says,
nutrition.
yep, nutrition?
Oh, oh, love that. Oh, money. One last question. I know I always have something to say. I feel like on these calls.
That's okay.
I was gonna ask. Remember on one of the calls that we had, we somebody said if you use like switch to like the Canada version of the app or UK version, you get it premium for free. How do I do that?
Yes, I honestly forgot about that. We'll ask Kelsey. She's not on this call, but she's in the chat. Her
Okay.
husband Felix figured it out. So yeah, something about yeah, if you change your address or something. So we'll
I
post
Right.
it in
think
the chat.
I think you can do it if you get like if you have a VPN on your phone, you can put your location as the UK or Canada, and then so it'll think you're there and then give you that free version. I didn't know that, but that's cool. So I might do that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
honestly forgot about that too.
cool.
Cool. Yay. Anybody else?
Wait, that you could go to the like scroll all the way down in your diary and click nutrition to just get like the quick picture. I've been going to like the every time I want to look at it, I go to like more and then I click nutrition and then I look at it. It's so stupid. It's like an added step, but wow, that's so easy and I've been doing this way too long to not know this. I'm pissed.
That's so funny. I just did that. Yeah, same thing, but just with an extra step. Now you know. Now you know. But yeah, if you do get the premium version, whether you pay for it or you switch to the Canada something or ever, you can see it at the top. So like I can see what my macros are and what I have left at the top, if that makes sense. Like, but I think for the free version, it only allows you to see calories. I don't think it allows you to see macros. So yeah, we got to get you guys all on the premium version somehow. All right, cute. Love this. And Morgan, I'm glad that you related to this as well. She said, I felt like I was always waiting for the scale to shift and only seeing changes in what I looked like. Right, exactly. Yeah, sometimes it is annoying. Definitely when if you're only using the scale as a measurement, but Morgan is also a huge transformation so far. Woohoo. All right, guys. Well, love ya. I will see you next week and we'll have a Mrs. Sheena. I think her new last name is gonna be Israel, but I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I don't know. Can't wait to see her ring. All right. Love you guys.
I know.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Tara.
Of course.